Pokket with MMORPG, and I'm here with Matt at Elder Scrolls Online. So Matt, tell us what you do for the game.
I'm the game director at ZeniMax Online, so I'm the head of the game project.
So you might know a little bit about the game.
A little bit.
And tell us what you're showing here at E3.
We're unveiling the game basically to the public for the first time. We've been working on the game for about 5 years, but we announced it a month ago, so this is the first time the public's really been able to see any of it.
And now it's really exciting. Can you explain the, the classes, and of course you're going to have classes, and the factions, and how is all that going to work?
Yeah, so we're set about 1,000 years before Skyrim. Of course, we're in the Elder Scrolls universe. At this time, the Tamriel is divided into 3 warring alliances. So we have, they're all basically fighting over the Imperial City, and they want to crown an emperor because at this time, Tamriel is almost totally in chaos. So players can help that by joining an alliance and then fighting with the other 2 and crowning a player emperor.
And in regards to, are you showing off any of the classes or the separate ones?
No, what we're doing right now is kind of introducing the game to the world. So we're doing, I call it a mile wide and an inch deep, because we're trying to give people an idea of the scope, the breadth of the game. And then over time, because we're not launching until 2013, so we'll go into each system in depth kind of between now and then.
And obviously it's going to have a vast open world. How big can we expect the open world to be?
Really big.
Really, really big.
So we have 4 different areas of the game. We have each alliance has an area where its members level and kind of are in safety, and then we have the giant open world PvP battleground, essentially, which is the entire province of Cyrodiil. So if you played Elder Scrolls Oblivion, Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, that entire province is where you're PvPing. So it's kind of 4 different complete areas of the game.
Awesome. So is there going to be any instance PvP at all, or is it going to be primarily just open world?
Yeah, we have talked about that a little bit. We're not talking a whole lot about how each system is going to work, but yes, there's open world PvP, but then there'll be smaller instance group battlegrounds for practice and so forth.
And speaking of instances, can you explain to us the dungeons to expect in all this?
Yeah, we have we have the standard instances everyone knows and loves, where you and your group can have a 1-hour dungeon experience. We also have heroic layers on those, so if you want a really tough experience. We have endgame PvE, where groups of groups can go in and fight lots of different monsters and have a really tough endgame dungeon experience. But we also have public dungeons, which we're really excited about, because those are where they're not instance, and you go in if you've played EverQuest or older games, and they've been around in modern MMOs too, but we're making them a social driver, so we're making them a little more difficult than above ground areas. So when you go into them, you'll get in trouble, or you'll find other players in there who are in trouble, and you can then help each other. So you put players in situations where they need help, and then you let them help. And the game is designed so that if you help someone in game, everyone wins. Everyone always gets full loot, everyone gets experience.
Awesome.
Because we want people to help each other, because people play MMOs and online RPGs to meet people. That's why you play the game, for these social connections.
Yes, I was going to ask that, how are you going to prevent the trolling? But obviously if everybody wins, then
exactly.
I don't mind helping.
Exactly.
Well, that's really exciting. And you did mention, how large are the in-game dungeons stuff going to be? How many people?
Not quite exactly sure yet. That's based on a lot of gameplay testing that we haven't done yet, because we need to get into beta, so we have hundreds and thousands of people playing it to figure out. But it's groups up groups, so it's going to be lots of people, lots of players.
And is there going to be a Trinity-based system at all, or is it just going to be go in and fight stuff together?
Our character system is a lot more forgiving than the Trinity system.
Yeah.
We're not talking a lot about it, but it lets you assume different roles, so you should never be excluded from a group because of a decision you make building your character, because you can take on another role in the group. Maybe not as good as your primary one, but it's enough to participate and actually be useful.
And can you explain to us the progression system in the game on how you level up your character?
Yeah, we're level based. The way the characters work is that you pick an archetype class, and then you get a lot of customization inside that, and we even let you bleed over into other archetypes too. So, for example, if you're a warrior and you pick up a healing staff, you can heal with the healing staff. You can pick up any weapon in the game and use it.
Yeah.
You're just not as good using that staff as a healer type build would be. So this is an example of a secondary role you can do, where
awesome.
you can help, but you're never going to be as good as the other guys.
So it's obviously going to be better if you just dedicate yourself to that role.
It is, although if you're a warrior, you level by using weapons, you build experience with those weapons. You can actually get pretty good with the healing staff for a warrior if you use it a lot, but then you're not going to be a really good warrior. But it's good enough that you can help out a lot if you really dedicate yourself to it.
And for some people who are, they've played the Elder Scrolls games, what can they go into this game expecting to find?
Well, other people.
Well, no, I mean, in regards to the Elder Scroll universe.
Yes.
Like, because a lot of people like going into these games and, oh, I remember this from, Oblivion and...
From the IP.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, first of all, our art style was designed so that when you go to Skyrim, it looks like Skyrim, like the game Skyrim. When you go to Morrowind, it's an updated view of Morrowind, so it looks a lot different from Skyrim. When you go to High Rock, which hasn't been seen in a game, in an Elder Scrolls game in a long, long time, we got to make that look like a more standard European high fantasy area. And you go to Hammerfell, and it's a desert, like Moorish influenced area. So we really wanted to give people, that, especially the ones that have been playing the games for 20 years, like, oh, I remember that, because we want to give them those moments. Oh, I was in Mournhold in 2002 when I was playing Morrowind. We wanted to give them those experiences.
Nostalgia. Yes. Nostalgia. Now, can you explain the combat to our viewers real quick? Because, the way I understood it, it's sort of actiony, but still sort of traditional as well.
Yep, it does have a small hotbar, six buttons. First two buttons are your weapon, so those are the things I was just talking about, where I can swap out with pretty much any weapon in the game and get other abilities that I wouldn't normally have. The other three are class-based, and you get to choose them anytime you want, except when you're not in combat. So you can't change them hot on the fly, but you can switch your abilities around based on the group that you're in or the dungeon that you're going into. The last one is a special ultimate ability that you get to do every once in a while. But these are all based on real-time. They're affected by real-time things like block, like sneak, like crouch, based on a health, stamina, magicka, which are the Elder Scrolls standard traits. So I can block anytime. I don't have to do it with the toolbar. There's no cooldown. It's real-time. It uses stamina as a resource. And I use block for a lot of things. If a spellcaster is casting on me, I can use block and shield bash them and interrupt them. I can hold it up and block an enemy attack and put them in a vulnerable state, so I can do a finishing move. We have it so if you hold down the attack button, you can charge up attacks. So you can hit it once real quickly and do a quick attack, or you remember this from all the other Elder Scrolls games. You hold down the button for a long time, you do a giant wind up, and then you do a big attack. So it's a little bit of toolbar and a little bit of real-time stuff to modify that.
And as I understood it, you could actually, co-op attacks with other players.
Yeah. That's, again, our philosophy of you want to meet people in the game and help them. So, for example, we're showing here an example where a mage is fighting a group of monsters, and a warrior comes up, and he goes in the mage's range, and he turns the mage's fire spells into an AoE spell with a synergy ability, so that everyone wins. So, and then they all get full credit for it. So they weren't even grouped. So you can do that anytime you want to help out other people.
So awesome! I can't wait to do that. Now, what's your favorite feature coming out in this game? If you had to pick something.
Wow. So I play online games like this for exploration. I love walking around and finding things. I'm the guy that kind of tries to climb up the mountains and look for different cool areas. And so we scattered chests and stuff that aren't on any maps around in these type of areas. So to reward the explorers, because Elder Scrolls traditionally is an exploration-based game. We want to make sure there's lots of stuff out there for people to find.
So as we can see on the map, there are the various points, and in the middle they all meet and they fight. So how large will the battles get, or do you expect them to get?
The Cyrodiil is, of course, where the PvP is happening. We want huge player battles, 200 players or more on screen at the same time. It's a strategic game, though. So you got all those towns and cities that from Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, like Cheydinal and Kavach. Those are strongholds that you can take over now, and your alliance can hold them against enemy attacks. So there's siege weapons. You can siege castles, destructible walls. You can repair them. It's all a strategic game of territory, and the more territory your alliance holds in Cyrodiil, the more influence you have, and eventually you can take over the Imperial City.
Awesome. Very good. Thank you. Thank you so much. Nice meeting you.